Hey everyone, what if I told you there was a way to get exactly what you wanted without fail, but how most of you out there are using exactly what I'm gonna teach today, but in the wrong way. And instead of attracting what you want in life, you're pushing it away and attracting what you don't want. So let's get started and let's flip that around. So today's lesson is about the law of expectancy. And law of expectancy pretty much means what it says. Whatever you expect, you get. So now it's time to expect greatness. Now it's time to wake up, become conscious, and become conscious creators and get what we want. Expect what we want. So getting into that, we need to understand that there's two sides to every expectation. There is a good and bad, obviously. The good is getting us closer to our, goals and dreams, our outcome we want, and the bad will lead us to pretty much a bad event, not what we want. Unhappy, very happy, right? So when we understand that there's a good and bad, we need to ask ourselves a very important question. Remember what I said, wake up. Stop being a zombie. Stop being unconscious. You need to get the life you want. You deserve it. But in order to get it, you have to ask questions that most people are not. Most people are walking through their life not even thinking about anything besides the next second, their next day. They're not even present, by the way. And neither are you when you're doing this. And I'm about to go into what I mean by that. But instead, you need to wake up, become present of at least that second to understand what are you manifesting in your life through your expectation. So one thing I want to bring up is when you're in this state, you ask yourself, what do you expect? You are asking yourself, what am I trying to produce? What am I trying to manifest? What am I on the route of manifesting? Bad or good? And when you understand that, the greatest thing is there's an amazing thing is that that is sentence, that answer you're given is a future tense. It is not, we'll do this too, not present. So that's great because there's an amazing thing when we're trying to manifest. It's called a buffer time. There is always a buffer before we manifest anything. Because none of these, as you can tell, usually lead right away. There's usually time in both of these before this becomes a reality. Anything does. That's the beauty of it. There's a buffer time before this becomes present in our life. And that is amazing because I don't know about you. I'm not always 100% positive. I am not someone, I'm a real person. I am, I try my best to be positive. I'm not toxic positivity where I try to act like everything's okay. Not everything's always okay. And that is okay. Be honest, be real, be who you are, and understand when you're more honest about what you're actually expecting in your life and which route you're going down. If you're going down this route, you can reroute it and go here. But you need to be transparent with yourself and stop lying to yourself and acting like everything's okay when it's not. Because that's how we get to greatness, by being open with ourselves, being honest, and getting to that stage of understanding which route are we going down. Now that we understand that, we once again understand we're trying to predict our future. We're not present, which is okay. So that's why, once again, wake up, ask the question, what am I expecting? Now, when we understand that, we need to see what way we're going down. Now, most of us, I know, are going down this route, and that's okay. Remember, we're blessed. We have this buffer. So this isn't going to happen. A bad event will happen right away. Neither will the goal and dream. But right here, this time period allows us to reinforce one way. And what I'm going to teach you today, the technique I'm about to reveal to you, will allow you to literally become a conscious creator and stop being a pawn in the game and be a king and the queen in the game and dictate your future. It's called R&R. And that means reroute plus reinforce. Now, what does that mean? Okay, once again, most of us are here. It's okay, be honest. We're not expecting what we want in our life. And that's why, by the way, you don't get what you want. Ask yourself another question too. When you got something you didn't want, were you expecting that on some level of consciousness or unconsciousness? 100% you were. Just like when you got something amazing, you either were unconsciously or consciously expecting that. So now you are conscious, you're aware. Now that you're aware, you need to understand, am I here? If you are, we need to reroute to a good thing. And I'll give you a great example of how to do that. And then once we reroute, this whole time we need to reinforce. reinforce, reinforce until we produce what we want after the buffer time is done. So what is something, I want to clean this up a little bit and give you a good example of what is a thought that some of us have and how when we can actually go ahead and fix it and go and get to a point of understanding how we can reroute and reinforce. So usually people have a thought like this. Well, I don't think today's gonna be a good day at work. Boom. Okay, that just happened. And most of us, unfortunately, keep doing that. Oh yeah, maybe I'll get fired today. Maybe I'll have an argument with my wife. Boom, boom, bam. Oh my goodness, you're going down the rabbit hole. Then you wonder, why did this bad event happen, huh? Well, because you expected it by reinforcing. It goes both ways. But the one thing we can do now is reroute. You don't want this. So instead, reroute to a good thought. You know what? It's not going to be a bad day. It's going to be a great day. And I'm actually going to have an amazing thing happen to me at work today. You know what? I'm going to have a great time with my wife after work. Then you know what? I'm actually going to blah, blah, blah. Then you get to your goal and dream. Then you get there and then you're happy. Then you wonder what took so long? Why did this happen? Because you're reinforcing it. You're instead of reinforcing the bad things and the bad event happens, you're reinforcing the good things and the good event happens. This is so powerful. And I'm going to give you a real life example that happened to me today so you can actually understand how powerful this can be. Today I was detailing a car and I saw one section of the vehicle and I said, this section is going to take me at least an hour to do. And I was, worried. I was like, this sucks. Oh my gosh, it's going to take forever. I don't want to do this. And the craziest thing is, I forgot about it. Then when I got to that section, hear me out. It took me only 10 minutes versus 60 minutes. This is a small scale, but understanding they both have routes. This side would have let me to the 60 minutes. This side would have let me to 10 minutes. That's 50 minutes of savings. Imagine now we do it at a real life event like a job, what it can do to save you, what it can do to help you, what it can do when you're trying to manifest something, how this can actually bring you this. This saved 50 minutes of my life that I won't get back, and it can do way more by expecting good things instead of bad things. So it's time once again, ask the hard question. What am I expecting today? What am I on? What route am I going? Because if you don't know where you're going, you don't know where you're going to get something that you don't want. So we need to answer that. After we answer that, we need to understand there's a buffer, like we said, that this is a buffer time period that before it's trying to get reinforced to produce the manifestation. Once we understand that, if we don't like what we're expecting, we can reroute, reinforce, and get where we want to go. It's that easy. So once again, R&R, let's reroute, reinforce, ask where you're going. Be okay if the answer is hard to hear because there's always another option available. Do not beat yourself up. We're all humans and you can reroute and reinforce. I love you. I believe in you. And as always, miracles are normal.